This is a very interesting game and a good example of both teamwork and radar and hydro tactics for destroyers as radar becomes a more intricate challenge. And in this battle, I am in the Pan-Asian destroyer, the Yeuyang, which is like a gearing with deep water torpedoes. And I'm spawning on Warrior's Path between B and C. And if you look at the lineup, you can see that the enemy has 3 radar ships, Des Moines, 2 Des Moines and a Cleveland, and they also have a hydro ship, the Z-23. And those are, the radars are American, which means they basically have just under 10-kilometer radar that can range anywhere from 30 to 56 seconds. So it's a serious threat. Now, if you look, you can see that I am located. Somebody else has RDF. That could well be one of their destroyers, but sometimes a destroyer hunter, like a cruiser that just loves going after tin cans, might be enabling that captain option too. You can also see that my RDF indicator on my ship is indicating that they are above B. And I'm going to keep an eye on that, and if you watch my mini-map, you can see I've got an 11.9 range on my guns. That gives me a good indication of where I don't want to be any closer than for especially Russian radar, and I want to stay reasonably close to that if I can for American. And I've got about 35 seconds before torps come in. I'm deciding against B, and also if you look, I've got more ships going to C to support me. Our other destroyer is going towards A. So I'm going to see if I can spot somebody coming into B, supporting like a cruiser or a battleship, but I'm going to just basically keep an eye at the moment. My fish are just about to come in. I've got a Baltimore entering C. There we go. I know where one of the radar ships is, but that still leaves 2 of them. And I'm assuming that one of their destroyers is in B. Obviously, it's being capped. So I'm going to join my Baltimore. And we're going to see if we can take this cap. There's a good chance that we're going to get opposition. Minimap is showing more of the enemy, but I'm still only seeing one of their radar boats over there and their shimmy. So that leads me to believe that the Z-23 is in B, but I could be wrong. It could be a destroyer. Either way, that ship in B might be coming up that channel when he's done. And here we go. There's one of the radar ships, and he's only about 11 clicks away, so I'm safe from his radar. I'm going to go ahead and line up a torpedo shot. There's a Prince Eugen. I'm going to go ahead and line a torpedo shot up the channel, and that might do some interdiction there. Send those fish out. So all the same rules for a destroyer still apply. You need to cap, you need to scout, and you need to do interdiction, and ideally kill. The Prince Eugen is getting close. I've got a minute and a half roughly before I get more torpedoes. I'm going to focus on capping, but be ready to exit. And I'm debating on smoking up the Baltimore, but they can still see him from where I am if I do. I've got fish out that are coming in to hopefully scare them off a little bit. Here I've capped. Yep. Up. Baltimore went down. Got to watch for the enemy air spotting me too. I got a solo cap. Unfortunately, at Baltimore, he did a very good job of supporting me. Didn't get any of that cap point, I'm sorry to say. And you can notice how important these support ships are. If I were doing this by myself, they'd be rushing this cap and possibly killing me. Now, I'm going to turn back around. I don't see anybody in B. Most of their ships are in A, as are most of ours. I just spotted the Prince Yeuyang again just showed back up after another Des Moines did. There's the Cleveland, so they've still got a bunch of radar over there. I'm going to go ahead and throw some fish that way. Once they come in, possibly both banks, because they're nicely lined up. I can't. If you look, you can see that my battleships are getting too close. If I throw, they might rush up. I'm going to have to readjust. So I'm going to hit boost and see if I can get in front of them, because team killing somebody will not win us this battle. So you got to remember always, it's never nice to be pink. Bad news is that those radar ships are getting awful close, and I am detected. And there's no point in throwing smoke. The best thing you can do now is angle and run them down. And here is the Z. I actually may be detected by his hydro. Well, my fish will be at the very least. So I want to take him out and deny them spotting those torpedoes getting closer. And now that the radar is gone, we can throw some smoke up. And see, they're going into minor panic over the fish. They no longer have their destroyer. I'm going to see if I can get this Richelieu on fire. Hopefully he'll eat some torps and we can blow him down. You notice Prince Yeuyang's backed off. There we go, fish.
Smoke screen set.
And is he going to take another one? No, but somebody did. Actually, it was going so fast I can't tell who got hit. And if we get it looks like Richelieu's going down. The Cleveland is in serious trouble. So really nice teamwork here by those capital ships. Having those big guns here makes a real difference. Those guys are staying back. And
engine boost deactivated.
We're going to lose. We lost the Iowa. But they're going to lose the Cleveland, possibly the Yeuyang. Our Richelieu is coming up. I'm going to cycle back. Doesn't look like anybody is left in B except those ships above it protecting it. And the Cleveland is almost certainly going down. Maybe the Yeuyang. Really like to see the Richelieu get the Des Moines. You'll notice that I'm only 11 clicks away. If he closes, he could radar me, but I'm on the edge, and he is coming in. I'm now in his radar range. I'm going to throw fish out, and I got corpses in the way, so what are we doing here? I'm going to try to crisscross these guys, and now I'm going to head for the channel for all I'm worth and see if I can cap B, because look at the score. They are down a boat, and they are beating us on points. They have almost a 100-point advantage on us. I'm asking my team to push B. Let's see how these fish are doing. I got air coming my way too. This should hold them at bay, get them to turn, hopefully kill them even. And the Des Moines just, oh, I like that. All right, 2 more torpedo hits. We're now up to 5 torpedoes and somebody's flooding. 75,000 damage and counting. The Des Moines, however, has heal if he uses that, and yeah, hard to say. But my support ships are able to work on him, and I am going to drive for B. Minimap is your real friend here.
Engine boost activated.
We can see where the other Des Moines is, so let's take a look using tab. So they only have 2 radar boats left. Only one of which is close enough to see me, and nobody's close enough at the moment with the allowance for terrain to put guns on me. That Des Moines is hurting. I'm going to keep my guns pointed. I'm also aware, though, that there was, and there's an Iowa, not really coming this way, but there's another cruiser out there somewhere. The Mogami was last seen coming around. There he is. So they're probably aware that they've got to keep B if they're going to win this game. And we're right now down 150 points. I think the Des Moines, I'm going to see if I can kill him and cap B. And I'm now dealing with area denial. If we can't get the cap and they get a kill or two, we could still lose this game. And we just lost a boat. We lost a turbines to their Iowa. So we're not getting A. And if you look down, none of our ships over there are really contesting taking the cap. So they've got 2 at the moment. And so now I am looking at getting rid of this Mogami. And I don't have any radar threat, but he's close. I am going to go ahead and see which way he's going. I'm assuming he's going to come in. He's not going to continue that line, but he might go up and try to use the islands for cover. He's cutting up, but that may just be to stay angled. So when I know what he's doing for sure, I'm going to probably commit both lines of fish. Okay, and so we've got him turning, capped. This is stopping those points, and yep, he is doing the turn I expected. There's one. And now I'm going to go ahead and set the second bank in a cross cut. So odds are whichever way he turns, he's going to eat fish. And I'm heading for A. And we got a Worshiper up there that looks like he's going to contest that cap, and he doesn't have much health. What's going up? And we got the Morgani, so we are now in the lead. We have a boat advantage, so we're in pretty good shape. But I got a suspicion. Yep, the Worshiper's going after the Des Moines, and the Des Moines has health on him. We lose the Des Moines, or the Worshiper. It's going to balance the score a bit, but we've got the caps now. There he went. Hopefully somebody can get that Des Moines, because I can't rush that cap with him there. They still have, there went the Des Moines. The Prince Eugene's out of the fight. He's not really doing anything, and the Montana can probably take him. If he's come back the other, well, he's seen, so we know where he is. But I've got a shimmy, and I've got an Iowa. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and get this cap. But I've got to be careful, because we could still lose a couple of ships, and the game is close. Early caps count. And there comes the Iowa. But he's not the closest ship. And there's the shimmy. So now what I'm going to do, my torps can't hit the shimmy, and I am detected. And I was expecting that. I have smoke. I'm not going to use it just yet. I don't want to obscure the shimmy. He could fish me. I need to kill him. So I'm going to work on closing and throwing fish at the Iowa. It's a possibility I could kill both of these guys. We've got enough points that we can afford me if it comes to it. So no, I wasn't planning on putting my fish on the shimmy, but on the Iowa, I'm going to smoke up and keep shooting and closing the shimmy. If I can get close enough, his fish can't arm, and they'll just bounce off my hull. I might kill him first. Here we go. Or, yes. And now, if I can hide my smoke, the eye was having to deal with my fish. Hopefully, a combination of guns and fire of fish will take him out. Maybe fire. I get one going there. He's taking fish. 112, 114,000 damage. Game is just about over. The results will be up as soon as it does. And here we are. I got a fire, and this should be the game. Real close. Who'll get him? I don't think we're at 5 minutes. There we go. And here we have our results. We did just under 140,000 in damage. Most of that was done, of course, with the 7 torpedoes and floods. There was also some fire and some gun hits. Of the gun hits, 86 were pens, 43 non-pens. We only had 1 spotting, amazingly enough, in that game. 2 solo caps. Let's take a look at the team score. We came in on top with 22-11, which is 800 odd more than the next closest ship. It was a lot of teamwork, don't get me wrong with that, but that was pretty cool. Now, interestingly enough, the ships I sunk with all that damage, a shimmy at 13,000, that was a close gunfight. That was 30 high explosive shells, and that was a close fight in some ways. Mogami for 399. That was 1 torpedo that clipped him, but it clipped him right. The Iowa up close and personal. I put 68 shells in him for 14,000 of that 44,000. But again, it was a mix. Here we had 1 torpedo hit for 12,000. But the fires and the floods had a lot to do with sinking him. And the Des Moines 37-4. Again, torpedoes doing the majority of that damage, about 2/3 of it. The Richelieu for 30. And there was, again, a little bit of gunfire, but the majority of it was the torpedoes and some of the flood. The Cleveland for another 10,000. And again, that was 1 torpedo and a little bit of flood damage. The Z, another 3,000, all high explosive. And the Yeuyang, we landed 1 shell. Damage on our spotting was another just about 43,000, caused 2 fires. Potential damage to us was not nearly as much as I thought it would be with the weaving and bobbing. It was 345,000. We got 115 of 120 cap points. Now I will say that we had somebody with us in C when he died, and I got the solo cap because of that. So that really is somewhat of a shared victory. But again, the caps really counted, or we could have still been in a lot worse shape. And we killed all the boats, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen. And I don't have the fancy camo on this, so it was an expensive boat to run. I received 402,000 silver, but it cost just under 258,000 when you add in the cost of service, the ammunition costs, and the consumables. I use only premium consumables on any tier 10 boat. I did put out a Stormwind camo, and that produced part of the benefit. The daily win bonus certainly didn't hurt. There was a little bit from my clan bonus. That brought in 9,222 in XP. That was bumped with the help of the Stormwind to 11,710 command XP. This is a 19-point skipper. And I did have a Papa flag out, and that helped me come in with that, and the Stormwind both added to my free HP, coming in at 2195. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the game. It was certainly fun and somewhat exciting to play. Please consider subscribing, and if you want to leave any comments, feel free to do so. Take care, and we'll see you out there.